Alrighty. Hello, folks. I know it's been a while since I haven't recorded anything, and as you can see in this video, this is going to be my reason why. So, this, as most of you can tell, it's a 1955 Ford Customline, apparently by one of the badges, a town sedan version, because the Furdor, it's on a club sedan version. Not absolutely sure if in 1955 they started giving the the vehicles those type of names, but yeah, this rod that I got here is a 1955 Ford Customline, 4-door, and this actually really isn't mine. It's it is mine, but at the same time it isn't. It's my old lady's, and if you folks don't know that term, that's my wife's. So yeah, um, this vehicle was picked up at one of the dealerships in Ukaipa. I got it for a kind of high price, honestly, for how it ran. But I've done quite a good amount of work onto it so far. And as you can see, this this tire right here, if you folks can remember, this one actually went on to my 1957 Ford Fairlane 500 Club Sedan, the two-door, that is actually still up at my grandfather's, that I've been working on for a very long time. The rim is a Ford, uh, actually factory correct rim from the 57, as you can see from the Ford stamp on it from the factory line. This is a, let me get the tire size for you. It's an American Classic, white wall. It's a 750 R14. If you folks can see right there, it's bias ply fly, and this is a newer style bias ply fly and radial tire. So this one is new still. As you can see, look at it. It's a radial tire, and it has the pie crust style pie flies, three pie fly. The white wall's actually into the tire, so it's a snowball skin, and that's actually part of my bag, which means that's how I like it. um, so reason for this video here is just to let you folks know about this 1955 Ford Customline 4-door. The vehicle originally came with a 272. It's a 3-speed on the column, so it's an older style stick shift that's not on the floor. It's a Long Beach car. It was originally the same type of color. This is a blue with a metallic speck dust paint into it. The door code is painted over, so I'm kind of disappointed about that. So as you can see, the U stands for my 272, the 5 stands for my my 55, the L is for Long Beach, the G is I'm forgetting at the top of my head right now. I forgot what the G is, but it's the type of car, I believe, that this is a Customline series, 4-door, 2-door, that same style. And then of course that's one of the sequence numbers right there, 141811. And then my body style again is a Customline 4-door. The paint was X color, so it's a blue type color, and the C also was the trim package for the interior, which was pretty much around the same type as well. It looked more or less like this color here, which I believe is the original flooring, and this color here. But it was customized, as you can see. These are actually still the original front benches, and then it was built in April 2nd, 1955. I don't believe it was built in the 54 because it was it has the April code on it, which is the D right there, and then 65 probably for the day, 141 1,811 made probably out of all the vehicles. And you folks would probably correct me on that. I roughly got it correct. I'm pretty sure I'm off a little bit, but I decoded it already. And this is the interior, since you folks are already seeing a little bit of it. The original steering wheel was replaced. I don't really like it. My wife doesn't like it. This is more or less her car, her rod more than mine. It still got a lot of the stock items into it. I've been fiddling around with it for a while, and the windshield wipers don't work. I believe they're supposed to twist and then stop at some point. The lights do turn on, as you can see. The dash speedometer light does go on. The fuel gauge light does go on. The temperature to show the temperature does go on. The oil on the generator light doesn't turn on. They're not hooked up. And I can put my my key there. These look like they're aftermarket that one of the last owners had, and I'll get to that in a second. Turn that off so it doesn't kill my battery. This can work, but I'm having a problem with it right now. As I hook it up, I'm afraid it's actually going to drain my battery. So it can hook up. I've tried it before, but I'm pretty sure I got to unhook the positive so that it can actually hook up correctly. Because when I've tried to do it with my wife troubleshooting, it just sparked a lot. The choke works. I actually troubleshoot it with my wife here, and we got it to work. The horn does turn on, or it does work. It's off to the side, as you can see, because it's just kind of rigged up. Basically, what I can say in a brief moment right now is it was a show car. It wasn't a real car. It was a show, pretty little car that somebody liked to take to car shows. So the horn does work. This toggle switch down here, if I can point to it, this one right here that my finger's going to, this one's for a suck fan, but it really doesn't work that well. It's good because I live out in the desert, so I can get more airflow going into the radiator and cooling down the engine. It's wintertime right now in the desert, which really isn't much of a difference. I mean, it's pretty cool, but I don't need it. And then this toggle switch down here turns on the wipers. Let me see if I can get those to work. I have one wiper blade down here because the track's kind of busted, so it's sitting underneath the seat. Right here. The teeth for one of my windshield wipers right up here is actually not so good, but the windshield wipers does work, and I got to put the key in, of course, to let you folks know. So it does work. It doesn't work from this location here, but it works. And me and my wife have already discussed that I would rather actually have it here on this side, so when either of us are driving the vehicle, then when it rains, it's not going to cause a problem that we can't see. But the problem that we're having right now, is the blade on it is so worn out that it just leaves streaks and doesn't do any good. The radio doesn't work. It has air conditioning and heating, but none of that's hooked up. My defroster doesn't work. Again, this was a show car, so there's a speaker inside of here instead of actually being a defroster. So, not very happy about that. My radio doesn't work. Of course, that happens every once in a while with some of these old cars. So I'll be taking that out and actually getting it resto modded. So it's still the same face and everything, but the interior I want to have taken out from all the lights and warm-up tubes and whatnot. So actually you can convert it to a modern style radio, but still functioning with all these switches and knobs down here. The clock doesn't work. It's not hooked up. I can open up my my glove box, and let me show you folks this trick. So the odd thing about this is, let me switch hands real fast. I have to it's grown into a personal type decision, or connection. So I gotta lift up and then turn this way and kind of wiggle it, and it's really weird just to get it to open. And sometimes obviously it doesn't do it, as you can see. All right, let me put you folks down. So there you go. As you're seeing, it's open now. There's my Route 66 book inside of there, the actual map. But that's how I got to get that glove box open. So obviously that's going to need a good amount of work as well. And the lock's actually not correct. I've been having trouble with this door here. This is the door, of course, that I open up for the wife. As you can see, I got it ratchet strapped down right now, just so this door doesn't fly out while my wife's sitting here. Because I had the original plate that locks in for the door, but I believe there's some sagging going on with the door, so it started like shimming down some of the teeth. Or not shimming down, but it started just grinding down some of the teeth here. Here's the back here, and some of you folks might not care for how it looks too much. Like I said, if you already understand my videos on my channel, I take older 50s vehicles and put them back to use. This was once a show vehicle, and I don't tear it apart or anything like that, but yeah, we got the kiddo seats back here and everything like that. This is the old lady's car, so we get to going everywhere with this puppy dog here right now. One thing cool, or a little bit odd, like I said, it's another personal connection with this vehicle, is some of the relays are messed up because this vehicle, like I said, was only built for show, not for go. So I gotta turn this blinker signal relay down, and I gotta put the keys in again and turn it on, and then I gotta put my foot down on the brake. So my foot's down on the brake, and then the next thing, the final thing to get my dome light to work, is I gotta put it in the middle. Usually you're supposed to switch it over all the way to the left here, right? And then turn off going to the right. But no. I gotta switch it in the middle. So there you go, folks. You can see my dome light works. But again, if I lift up to supposedly, if I would, to go to the right, my dome light turns off. I go to the left, turns back on. Now, if I take my foot off the brake, turns off. Put my foot back on, turns back on. Take off, and I have my blinker signal in the middle, have my foot on the brake, it's not on. So there's a lot of wire issues going on here that I'm not too happy about. I have the vehicle appraised before I bought it. Supposedly the engine was rebuilt. Supposedly it was somewhat restored and yada yada yada, but just ended up being a bunch of lies.